It's the only person below White Holiday in the Comicsgate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sametti. The YouTube how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hello, whoa. hello. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. We are joined today by two great special guests. We've got the one and only Beyond Time Inc. And we have the presence of penciler Rod Looper.
Yes, greatness. The super Rod Looper.
Super Rod Looper.
Yeah, yes. Billy Tucci gave him that nickname so he can keep that.
Nice.
My nickname.
Yeah, it's well deserved. You're freaking on fire.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, he was really digging the first book, Black Tiger. Hey, welcome, Eric McIntyre. Yo.
What's up, guys?
You want to show that again? Yeah, that is pretty freaking awesome. And I'm glad I got the hardcover.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that was a treasure, brother, because it's gonna be a while before Rod and I do any hardcovers again, man.
Yeah. Oh, did it take a big hit to the budget?
You know what? I didn't even mind that so much. I mean, it's like, yeah, the answer is yes. The book. So the answer is yes. It did cost more when it was all said and done than what we charged for, but because it comes down to just numbers, and it's just so I'm excited. At the end of the day, Rod and I know that, once you offer something up, you got to give it. That is not the fault. For everybody that got that, God bless you. I'm glad you got that. As a comic book fan, that was the version that I wanted.
Yeah.
But I think we're also, as we're moving forward, we're kind of refining the business parts of the model. And that's a prime example of, either you got to price it well, or you got to wait till you get enough folks on board. Because I really didn't want to price it more because people already paid a lot for that book. But it was 172 pages and it was a hardcover. And when you don't have if you're not moving big numbers, the price per book is high. And then you ship it and the shipping is expensive. Yeah. So that was a learning. I hope at some point we can get back to doing hardcovers. Hopefully if people continue to enjoy what we're doing and we can get some more folks that would be interested in hardcovers, I want to be able to offer those up again. Who knows, what that'll look like. Maybe there's two big volumes to the current story that we're doing. This first one is 75 pages. 75 pages of story, plus there's other additional art in there. So together it'll be over 150 pages. Maybe by the time we do this second, not this one, the Hidden Dragon, but the second volume, and we collect the whole story, maybe we'll be in a neighborhood somewhere where people will be ready for a hardcover of that whole volume. Or who knows? Maybe we're able to collect everything. I don't know, man.
I just remember. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like John said, I think it is a matter of numbers, because if you have enough bakers, we could offer as a stretch goal. You know what I mean? You need bankers. You need more and more fans. Join the club. Maybe it's possible.
Yeah, we definitely do need to get you more backers.
Eric was asking if we have any hardcovers left. So here's the deal. I have one backer who was in the UK, and I'm praying that he's healthy, because his whole package returned. So this is somebody in the UK that bought a hardcover and a softcover. The book returned, and one person we heard back from, but another person we have never heard back from. So I'm sitting on his hardcover and his softcover, and every once in a while I'll just ping it out. But we, for better or for worse, we made what was ordered last time. So, I mean, you know, everybody got their book and we have no overage. So, you know, I don't know how long I'm going to keep holding on to that, holding out, hoping that that individual is going to get their book. I really hope they do. You know, last thing you want to do is not deliver to folks. You know, that's the whole point. The whole point is get the books in people's hands. And that, you know, that's a big part of the joy. That's what we're doing with Magna right now. I mean, for those that are domestic, I think we sent out about 135 packages today.
Nice.
So those were domestic. Those were the graphic novels, but graphic novels only. So we have some people that got some other things, like they got commissions and they got prints and they got beanies. So the next wave we're gonna get out. We're gonna get the beanies out. We've got the prints. We're gonna get the prints out, and Rod is working on his commission, and Marcio is working on his commissions, and people are not gonna be disappointed. I'm excited because I was actually, you know, because that's one of the things. It's like, you know, you want people to, you know, to be excited about the commission work that they buy. I think everybody got a super bargain, honestly. You know, I know commissions aren't cheap, but these guys did not pull any stops.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, you can tell from the quality of the thumbnails and stuff, the previews, that they're gonna be good. That one backer there, I guess anyone who's really vocal in CG, or is it like maybe without you know, doxing? Or,
well, you know, like I'm a self-doxing machine, so everybody knows who I am. I don't know who this person is.
Oh, okay.
So, and even when I search by their real name, it's a relatively common name. So it's like I can't even. I'm even trying to see, like, is there somebody like that in CG? And I just can't make the connection. So it's really bumming me out.
Yeah, man, that's
what's happened.
That's challenging.
Yeah.
Is there anything? Does Indiegogo offer any services whereby if you have trouble reaching a backer, they might have some resource to? Well, no, I guess they just be in the same boat as you and just have their contact information.
Exactly. So, I mean, here's the good and bad. I mean, between the two platforms, like everything else aside, I still like Indiegogo more than Kickstarter because kind of like it feels the way Kickstarter is structured that as your campaign grows. No, don't get me wrong, our campaigns are not that big, but like you need like almost like a service, like a fulfillment type service. So like, you know, to make sure, because they only give you one shot to reach out, like via kind of blast. They only give you one shot to reach out to folks, and nobody answers stuff. You know, I mean, it's like maybe if you get 50% of the responses, that's not bad the first go around. I mean, you usually got to reach out to people sometimes multiple times.
Oh yeah.
To get a hold of them, and they didn't really have a good automated way of doing that.
Right.
So, you know, I said, you know what? Yeah, I still send emails with Indiegogo, but it's just structured where, as a small guy, it's easier for me just to reach out to folks.
Yeah, even though they're, even though the package got rejected and sent back, hopefully they see your emails and respond back to you.
That's the odd thing. The emails didn't bounce back either. So it's not like, oh, this email is defunct, or, I mean, the emails went somewhere. You know, so I mean, you just don't know people's circumstances, you know? I mean, like,
for sure.
One of the guys, one of the international backers, his book did bounce back, but I heard back from him, and the dude literally just travels a lot working.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So he was just like, you know, I don't know exactly kind of what kind of work he does, you know, offshore, onshore, I'm not kind of sure. But like, so he finally got back when he got back in town, and he gave me a different address.
Sweet.
You know, to send it where somebody would be. And these are all the things that honestly, even as a backer, I don't think about all these things, because sometimes you're just like, oh, kind of like, yeah, you know, I throw my address in there or whatever. And then next thing you realize that, like, man, you know, maybe it's not the best address for the purposes of receiving stuff. You know, whether it's because you know, people snag stuff from where you're at, or, you know, you name it. There's so many different reasons, but, you know, we just kind of put in our address, and I've done that too. And I realized that, you know what, I'm going to start putting, we have kind of like a P.O. boxes kind of thing, you know, so it's like, you know, I can send it there, and if it's too big, they'll hold on to it. As opposed to like, you know, if it doesn't fit into the mailbox, the mailman or mailwoman is just like, okay, I'm putting it on the side. And like, since we've moved, you know, we live, like I told you, I'm just a self-doxing machine. You know, since we live now in Texas, I mean, it's beautiful, but it rains like frequently. Like it'll just rain. You know what I mean? So you just have stuff outside. It doesn't really matter what time of year. I mean, it can just rain on your stuff.
Oh man, getting drenched.
You know, and I'm like, okay, I got to make sure that I'm sending my stuff to the right places. I mean, as somebody who backs books, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna ask them to send me another one. That was my bad. I'm like, my feelings are all hurt. I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, that I guess an advantage to having a PO box. At least it's gonna be undercover if it does rain.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, these are all the things. Think about all these things as a backer, and as somebody that's, you know, sending books. Just a whole bunch of things that I never thought about before. You know, because I backed a number of books and I didn't think about it. You know, the next thing I'm like, oh my goodness, my book got rained on. What the heck? You know, that's not,
it definitely is a learning experience from both sides.
Yeah,
that's true.
So if by chance you're unsuccessful in reaching that person, Eric's offering to claim it. He'll buy it.
Eric's a great dude.
And
You know, I would just send it to Eric. Honestly,
Eric is pretty dang good.
yeah, he's awesome. I would just send it to him.
Loyal backer and big in CG. Looking forward to the commission, he says.
Man, Eric, I'm getting the inks. They look good, bro. The commissions are looking sweet. You know, because it's one of those things where it's like, you know, and Rod just be the one speaking. I have no business speaking to this stuff. Man. I don't know. I'm just talking because I'm just enjoying being on the show. But like with Mark, yeah, there you go. I mean, when you see those inks.
All right, hold on. Let me bring you up.
Yes.
One of the pages.
Woo!
Man,
One of the
That
pages
is sweet.
for the third book. Ninjas.
Man.
yeah, we're going there. I mean, let me tell you, Rod.
Show you other pages.
The thing, so Rod we've worked together for over 15 years. And, you know, we've really built this IP together. And Rod just told me there are some things that he wanted in this story.
Man. Woo-wee.
Yeah.
Samurais and ninjas.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
15 years. 15 years. That's cool.
Yeah, it's not an easy job, man.
Yeah.
A passion of the work
Wow.
of passion.
And
A
I'm
little feudal Japan with some mutants and, you know.
Page after page after page.
Oh, my goodness.
You guys must have one of those working relationships where you're literally finishing each other's sentences.
Well, you know what's fun about it is, I mean, we're exceptionally honest with each other. You know, like I pitch things to Rod about what I'm trying to do, and I think honestly, it's what's made the book. I want to say great. I think what's made it great is because probably of the things that Rod did not allow me to do. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, you need people that are like, yeah, dude, I love you, but no, we're not doing that. That's not a good idea, or that's insane.
Impossible to draw.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's just restraint, man.
Exactly.
You're crazy doing that.
Wow.
So, man, you are crazy, dude.
Yeah. Oh man, and I'm digging your art desk. That's a lot of surface to work from. That's cool. And you got a light board too.
Yeah. I think I work mainly drawing digitally on iPad Pro, so I can have a lot of freedom.
Oh yeah.
And then I ink it. I could ink digitally, but I like paper, brush, and stuff, and effects.
Wow.
So all that, and sometimes I do like gray shadows
Oh,
digitally. So I scan this original ink, and then I put some small details like rays or some special effects.
oh my, that is
When I
nice.
feel, man, the page is ready, and I send to John, and then John take care of the colors with the guy.
Sweet.
But the good thing is like John said, the freedom that we have between us to be clear of what we want. You know, he knows exactly what to write to make me happy, to challenge me as an artist.
Nice.
This is so good, man. So good. Sometimes this was one idea. I talked with him and said, John, I would love to draw samurais, man. I was watching some movies, and then he said, man, but how can I fit samurais in Black Tiger universe? Because Black Tiger universe passed in our time. And then we were talking back and forth, right from, man, let's talk about the past. And then he clicked it and said, man, wait it, I will write it. When he showed the story, I said, man, let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Excellent.
So this is, man, 15 years passed, and I hope to be with him for the next 50.
I think one of the biggest lessons I remember back at one point we were working on Legacy of Fury, and Rod is amazing and he's always loved working on the project. But I remember him telling me like he needed a break from the project, and I realized that like as an artist I wasn't challenging him. He was too much of just the same.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, where's the fun for him in that as an artist? And honestly, there was no reason for that to be the case with the story, because we have so much story to tell, Wyman. I mean, man, we're never going to be able to tell all the things that we want to be able to tell. So the fact that, you know, I was kind of playing it a little bit, you know, kind of conservative in that regard, there's no need for it.
Mhm.
You know, why not go old school kind of Marvel style, where like, I mean, it's like, and you read an old Fantastic Four, you don't know where you're going to be. You start in the Baxter Building, you know, you go to Latveria, and then you go into, you know, whatever, the Negative Zone, and they do all that in like 24 pages.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, do what you're going to do. Have fun. Make sure it makes sense for the story. Make sure you're carrying the story and you're not just doing nonsense. But like, yeah, I mean, why would we constrain ourselves when this is the best medium on the planet? Because you can literally go anywhere, do anything, and the budget is the same.
Pencil and paper. That's it. Imagination. That's it. You do everything.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
No restraint. Just produce the best story, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I always tell to John, man, Joe, sometimes he send me a script and said, John, maybe you could do more crazier.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's too much. Go more. I want more. I want a dragon. I want to fight with an assassin. I want samurais. I want ninjas. I want everything. And then say, oh man, how can I fit that in the story? And then you come back and it bring me and say, that's it, John. That's it.
Yeah.
And this keep me fired. This is important, because after 15 years working, you get some burnout sometimes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You guys say, oh man, let's go again, draw that. But when we click it and keep freshing with those new ideas, man, so it's just joy.
You know, one of the things that, you know, we were kind of thinking about and talking about too, when you look at characters that stand the test of time, oftentimes they have either a good or a fun rogues gallery, you know, because you kind of need that. I mean, it's hard to think about Batman and not think about Gotham and not think about all those people he's put in Arkham, you know, and you can't, you know, one of the reasons the Flash is so cool, because as campy as his rogues gallery are, they fit him and they're right for him, you know, and Spider-Man has got a great rogues gallery. So, I mean, it's like, one of the things we've started building in this universe is we're really starting to build a little bit of the rogues gallery. You know, this is a Kung Fu inspired book. So you're going to start seeing, as we continue to develop the character, like you're going to see like the 5 Fingers of Death. So they are, you know, they are a bunch of international killers that work for, you know, we're not going to we don't want to give away too much about who they work for, but like, it gives you just a flavor of like, you know, these are some of the most deadly human beings on the planet. you know, from different fighting styles. You know, we have like an African wrestler, we have a Filipino stick fighter. You know, we've got, you know, we do have a shinobi. You know, we've got a character that's actually a pugilist. You know, so a boxer, and then we have another character called the Touch of Death. So you know, so we touch on some supernatural elements as well, but we just wanted to have fun and really make this a fun ride for people.
Yeah. I better catch up with the chats here. Byron Bruh, welcome. Hail WyzGyz and beyond.
Byron Bruh, it's my dude.
What's up, bro?
Everyone's digging it. Johnny Cage is up.
Oh, Johnny.
Welcome, Edwin. The Ace is live on Indiegogo Acevedo. Hail, peeps.
Yeah.
Eric says, Rod drew some great Justice Leagues.
Oh, yeah.
During the Red Valkyrie auction. They were awesome, especially the Dark Side piece. I was fortunate to win them, too.
Yeah, he bought it all that.
I remember.
So surprised.
Man, so there was a time, I don't know how long ago this was, Rod. Maybe it was a decade or so ago. Rod made these, so he made a couple of just amazing, story pitches, and I ended up putting them together to pitch. One was like a Batman Joker story. Another one was a Captain America story, and we pitched these. And, you know, when those pitches didn't even, I mean, you know, irregardless of the art, they needed to have contacted Rod. I mean, regardless of the writing, like maybe they didn't like what I wrote, which is I get that. But the artwork he did on these stories, and when they didn't even give a response, I realized that there's a lot of people out there that are. Then I was just, it really kind of just took the air out of me in terms of like, you know, I'm not mad, but I'm not pitching these folks anymore. This was years ago. This is when they were still doing things that I thought were somewhat fun.
It's impossible to understand how it works, man. So
yeah, I was like, how do you not at least reach out to the man when you're doing work like that?
Oh, sure.
You know, and just at least want to make some level of connectivity when you have an artist of this caliber.
Yeah, I think my last sample page was the Batman. A sequence, I think it was a sequence with Joker.
Yeah.
I think 5 pages. I sold all the originals. I have more than 50K views on DeviantArt, and even once, no one's reached me out. No one.
Yeah.
And I say, man, what I need to do? Deliver the whole book, colored and with dialogues, everything to get in. No, I'm out.
Wow.
Indie, and that's it. And I have a lot of fun working with indie because the freedom as an artist is so good, and I don't know if the artists from the BitChute have this freedom artistically. You know what I mean? I think it's more industrialize the process of produce comic books.
Yeah.
I think indie, I think, is more freedom. And for me, that's everything. I need to be free, man. I can't be restrained.
Yeah. I mean, for us, kind of the real rule that we hold on to is that everything that we make is canon. So if you got it in a book, we're living with it. We're moving forward with that. We're not going to undo it. We're not going to be like, oh, psych, you know.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
Sorry.
I mean, it makes the writing fun, but it may be more challenging at times. But it's just like, I get it. I mean, stories progress, you know, characters progress, but and you have to enable that to happen. But I don't want the best. I don't want to be the best. I don't want the best stories that we write to be stories that were Elseworld stories. Right. You know, I want people to pick up the books, know that they're not going to get the rug kind of pulled out from under them, and know that what they get matters. You know, it's part of the universe. It's part of the canon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it would be very brave from you, John, if someday you finish Black Tiger. You know what I mean? Like Akira, you said, that's it. I don't have any story. I don't want to release anymore, and that's it. You know what I mean? Start to write a new character.
We do. we have we have kind of an overarching story arc, and the character does have an end. You know, the mantle is a mantle that goes over time. And that's the reason why if you got Legacy of Fury, you had the opportunity to see a number of different Black Tigers because we want you to be ready.
Yeah,
this is part of what this looks like. This is a mantle over the millennia, which means you're going to have different holders of the power. So that means a character has a story arc, and when their story arc comes to an end, their story arc will come to an end.
That's it. That's today is very brave for a creator and artist and writer to finish the character. You know what I mean? Not, oh, they pay me more, I will write something. Then some clone of Black Tiger. You know what I mean? Oh, man.
Oh yeah. Then they get lazy.
No.
At least all that.
I'm out. That day, I will say, John, bye. Go.
He'll do that
art.
too.
Because
you don't want to be stuck with my art. That's a bad place to live.
No. You know what I mean? Now Black Tiger clone. No.
Exactly.
That's it. That's it for me.
So
it's very great.
Me. How's it going, Matanui? Yeah, so it's like there's a certain point at which the writing gets sloppy, they get lazy, and then they start coming up with preposterous ideas that don't even fit the characters anymore. And then anytime they run into issues or too many discrepancies, then they try to use time travel or just reboots of the properties to kind of ignore all the discrepancies they created themselves.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And I get it. I mean, it takes. We have the benefit of certain things. We have the benefit, and that's why I don't just totally lay this at the feet of the big two, because they're there, even though it doesn't seem like it. They're actually there to make money. Doesn't seem like they're not really trying to sell books to anybody, but they're trying to operate in a way that they think makes sense. I'm a big American comic book person, but that's something that manga understands. That American comics have to get down with is there are story arcs, and you can keep a property, whether it's a mantle or whatever, you can keep things potentially going, but you gotta grow. You gotta keep moving.
You gotta grow.
And that's like for instance, imagine if universes continue to develop. Think of who Kal-El would be today, with just the natural loss that he's experienced. Having outlived so many of his friends so many times over, or just, now don't get me wrong. I realize that I'm coming from a place of looking at it, with hindsight 2020. So I'm not putting that on them. But I'm saying as independents, as we're making books, we have the benefit of seeing the best in American comics. We have the benefit of seeing the best in manga, where we have the benefit now to bring stories to the table and say, like, you know what? It's okay for these characters to develop. A lot of the challenges we're having right now is just like, Spider-Man is my Peter Parker. I grew up with him. You know what I mean? So he's my Spider-Man. Peter Parker is my Spidey. Miles Morales, my kids really dug, the cartoons. So they dig him. And it's not that I don't dig him, but he's just not my Spider-Man. But to me, that's actually kind of a cool thing if you're actually willing to go with it. It's like, hey, you want to see my Spider-Man, I can show you my Spider-Man in these old books, but it makes it difficult when everybody's trying to coexist and you keep rebooting the same characters over and over again. It just makes it challenging. And I know we still have a way to go as independents, but I hope as independents we take courage, we build, and we don't do the same things that we get upset at the big boys for doing, because then we're just hypocrites. If we do the same thing,
you beat this,
then shame on us.
Shame on us.
Because they didn't even have the benefit of all of the 2020 vision that we have. They were building it. They were,
they will start
when all these characters were being made. They had no idea.
Yeah.
We have the benefit of this history.
Yeah, totally agree, man.
Yeah, if we end up repeating their mistakes, then we're literally repeating their history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got this great project, Black Tiger Hidden Dragon. If you haven't already, sign up on the mailing list.
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, please.
Get in on that so you don't miss any news updates whenever they release them. And the Tigress is back, following her soul lead into her father's murder as hidden evil rises.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you one thing: when you put together these campaigns, they give you these. It's probably for better. They give you these like very concentrated and small windows that you write in. So it's like you have to distill your messaging down to the very core. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, these other things that I want to say. Nope. You know, it's like this is the number of characters, and I pretty much use every single solitary character every time. Like I couldn't even put a period after that, probably.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you don't go off on too many tangents, or else the story gets way over bloated.
Yeah.
And with so many different characters and exploring the supernatural and dragons and samurais, ninja, it could easily get out of hand if you don't maintain some control over it.
Yeah, yeah. You still got to retain, kind of your red thread. What is your kind of what's running through your story. If you don't have that, it's very easy to be all over the map. And the last thing I want to do, especially kind of given the periodicity of the books, I want people to be able to read and feel like, okay, the story is going to continue, but I feel like I got enough meat to make this worth my while. It's like if you're getting a book on a monthly basis, it's okay to introduce some things and do some things here because you're gonna get the book again in a month. But if you're not gonna get your volume again for another year, you got to give people something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to give people a reason to say, like, you know what, I got enough meat that I want to come back and I want to see where the story is going.
In that respect, it's kind of like getting 3 or 4 issues worth all at once.
Yeah.
Getting several months worth. So you get to enjoy and engage with the story and feel like you've gotten some fulfillment and some
exactly
enjoyment out of it.
Exactly.
As you write, as you tell your story, do you imagine it in the confines of a graphic novel, or do you think cinematically? Like with the first project, prior to even releasing the first book, you had actually done a crowdfunder where you did a pilot of Black Tiger.
That's right. So Black Tiger Legacy of Fury, and one of the reasons why we delivered it in its entirety is it was very much structured like a movie. I mean, there's probably a little bit more plot B and plot C than a movie would normally have, but it really was kind of structured that way and really meant to show you like some, one character's development or demise and the introduction of another character. So that was really written, it was still written with the sensibilities of a comic, but it was really kind of structured almost like a movie was structured. We're playing with different styles. With Hidden Dragon using much more of kind of the freedom kind of a comic book, so we build a couple of plot B's and plot C's that we're going to pay off later, but we make sure that we give you something that we pay off here in these 75 pages of story, and just want to so we kind of want to keep the ball moving. So we want to reveal some things and then show you some new mysteries and then kind of keep you intrigued, so that you're saying, okay, I'm learning more about the character, but I'm also realizing that there's more about this character that I do not know.
Yeah.
Right on.
I figure, and if we have a lot of that, but we're not going to have this character. I don't know how else to say it, but outlive their story. That's we want to make sure that what we're providing is compelling and fun and fresh.
Now, I might have made a mistake when I was first advertising the stream, because I was calling this a sequel to Black Tiger, but is this like Would you consider this not so much a sequel, but an entirely separate story in the Black Tiger legacy or history?
I think you're right. You know, I mean, this does pick up where Legacy of Fury left off. But then what you'll find is as we tell the story, kind of to where we've gotten to, we're not going to tell it completely linearly. And you'll see a lot more of that. So this 75 pages is relatively linear. The arc that Rod is working on right now for the next 75, yeah, that story, there's a lot more of reveal by looking in the past. So kind of revelation by looking in the past in that story. You know, well, I figure we're beyond time, so we already said it in our name. You know, we're gonna
beyond time.
We're gonna tell the stories, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna tell them linearly or chronologically.
Right.
You know, but we'll still unfold them in a way that's fun.
Absolutely. Now, I don't know if there's any clues here, but in the URL address for Black Tiger Hidden Dragon, it says Volume 1, but then it's got a couple dashes and it says 2. Is Hidden Dragon considered like a volume 1.5 or a volume 1 plus 2, like 2 stories in one book?
Gotcha. So yeah, it's really 1 out of 2. So we're gonna have 2 volumes that make up this complete story arc for Hidden Dragon. So this is the first half of that story arc. So if you wanted to consider this a story arc, it'd be kind of 150 pages of story, and you're getting the first 75.
Oh, wow.
Right here.
That's amazing. Now, you may have already been asked this, but some might make the comparison. It sounds similar to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Is there any kind of influence or, oh, sorry, that it's windy outside. Is there kind of any influence or homage to that martial arts movie?
Well, I mean, the whole property, you know, I mean, if you look at the different names, it's a series of homages to Hong Kong, whether it's Hong Kong films or old school Hong Kong Kung Fu theater, along with kind of a comic book sensibility. So, you know, the name definitely is an homage to the film. I think you get probably a little bit more of those elements in the second volume, but you know, kind of the name play is purposeful. You know, I want to give that feel of kind of like, hey, you know, what is this? You know, this kind of reminds me of, you know, a Hong Kong film, or, you know, what is it with the name? Right. You know, so we definitely are purposeful in kind of, you know, providing an homage and wanting to be respectful kind of for that, you know, because I grew up on Hong Kong movies. You know, I love them, you know, and
Yep.
I love we love being able to insert that kind of a sensibility into the comic.
Absolutely. Yeah, me too. I love those movies. Speaking of animals and like tigers and dragons, martial arts is known for having specific martial arts styles named after those. Do you delve into that some in your story?
We're going to be delving into it more. You know, before my family and I moved out to where we are now from California, we were actually practicing kind of, there's different forms of Black Tiger. So, and we were practicing basically one of the styles that was kind of one of the Black Tiger forms. So Black Tiger is a form of Kung Fu. It is a form of martial arts. It's interesting story. I actually got to speak with kind of the Grand Master of this style, and it was actually a style that was actually lost in China, and it was like the story is that there was a servant that learned the style and then ended up coming to stateside. So a little bit of kind of cultural revolution where a lot of things just got wiped out, but like the style kind of went a full 180 and was returned to China from New York.
Wow.
So there were some martial artists that had migrated from China to New York, and they continued to develop and propagate the style, and then they were able to go back and almost kind of plant the seeds back of that style.
Right?
Yeah. So a lot of fun things, and just kind of getting some permission to use some creative license and just being respectful. But we're going to tell some of those stories as well, as we're now starting to look towards the history and tell some of the stories of some of the prior Black Tigers as well, and just have fun. We're gonna keep it very much enjoyable, fun fiction, but sometimes some of the most fun stories you can tell are facts based, because sometimes facts are just stranger than fiction.
Yeah,
That's
the
true.
reality sometimes kind of surprises.
Yeah.
So, do you mean to say that in your time having conversations with grandmasters of Black Tiger Kung Fu, that you took a moment to ask their blessings or their permission to kind of explore the story and the history behind it?
Oh yeah, I've got. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I've got a couple segments where I interviewed some grandmasters, and they allowed me to interview them.
Oh my God.
Man, this would be awesome.
We just sat down and we talked about the systems, we talked about the history. And the thing is, these men are amazing. So I was speaking with one Sifu, and it's like the art just transcends martial arts. So I mean, he's a martial artist, but he's also like an artist, like amazing artist. So he did these renderings of these different masters from generations past. And these paintings are amazing. So I mean, they opened up a whole world to me that I don't know yet what to do with the content and how to really honor that content yet, but we're going to do that. So having the opportunity to talk with them, about kind of the stories of the system migrating and then migrating back, and these different masters. And it's amazing because these systems were developed simply as defense mechanisms for farmers, because they weren't getting supported by the government and their raiders. So these guys were using their farm tools and developing systems to defend themselves against raiders.
Damn.
So it's absolutely amazing. The things that we were able to learn, the things we were able to video, and that is a project in and of itself. And I've been, my wife and I we're trying to figure out how best to honor that, how best to show that.
Right.
And it may even be in something more of just like a like a little bit of a short film, that we may end up putting together with this different content.
Yeah.
Nice. Would be nice.
I don't know if this would be too much work, too time consuming, but one thing that comes to mind that might be of interest to people is like a CD-ROM. It doesn't necessarily. I suppose I'm guessing all the content would fit on a single layer DVD, or you might even be able to fit the data on a CD-ROM, being CD-ROMs are cheaper. But you could have like a custom label that looks decorative and respectful, and then the content would include, like you said or suggested, a short film. You might also have, when you put in a CD or DVD, you can set up a menu.
Right.
And you use your remote control to select the option from the menu.
Yeah.
Right.
You could have one to play the whole story, the short film. You might have videos solely to access the interviews. Each of the 2 interviews, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And then you might have a link that discusses the history. Maybe has either a pictorial or some imagery discussing in text, kind of designed like a musical poem or something, or a haiku.
Yeah.
Exploring some of the history of Black Tiger Kung Fu, and maybe if they're willing, a gallery of the artwork from the Sifu.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That would be amazing.
So many ideas.
Do you think there's any remote possibility the Sifu would be willing to sell their paintings?
No, I can't see it.
All right.
The paintings are so amazing and so historic.
Are these like things that are posted inside the dojos and for display or in museums?
Well, the amazing thing is, it's just, the Sifu originally showed me some pictures. He just has them in his home.
Okay, all right.
So, it's not like they're not in the studio. They're not anywhere like that. But it's just amazing.
Damn.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, Eric McIntyre says the Raiders haven't been a legitimate threat ever since John Madden left.
What about Deflategate? They were good that 1 year. When Brady got him under some controversy.
Oh man. For those like me who don't know about Black Tiger Kung Fu, can you like expound a little on what the style is like? Like Tai Chi is known for slow, calm, smooth movements and redirecting one's opponent's power against themselves. Taekwondo involves a lot of high kicks and punches. Judo is a lot about grappling and throwing.
Mm-hmm.
And boxing, of course, is a lot of quick footwork and a lot of upper body punching.
Yeah.
What is how would you just
I think the thing that's interesting about any of these systems, especially since there isn't just a one Black Tiger style per se too, like even where we practice martial arts, you still had different different forms based on different animals for different styles of attack. So yeah, there's a tiger and there's dragon, there's a mantis, so it's I think the style is kind of a portable style, and it's very the thing that I like about it is there's punches, there's kicks, not a lot of high kicks like you'll see in the book, but there's a lot of very effective mid to lower kicks. There is a lot of using your opponent's momentum against them. There's a lot of punches. There's some feigning, in there as well. So it's a very it is an aggressive style, but it's also a very, I think, well disciplined, well disciplined style, and it's you have a lot of the martial artists that are really good, they have a lot of stuff in their bag of tricks, so it's not like, because like you kind of hear with certain systems, well, the best way to combat that is X, but there's just kind of a fluidity and a almost just a an ability to adapt, that I really appreciate. And I think that was the fun. That's the fun of Black Tiger style as well.
And you mentioned it was something that farmers would use to defend themselves.
Yep.
Is it also a style known for incorporating the use of weapons, like
yeah.
the farmers would probably be accustomed to using hoes and rakes and shovels.
So definitely like weapons like hoes, rakes, and shovels. When we would go to practice martial arts, though, we use there's a lot of staff work, because that's, if a farmer needs to, they can break the end of a weapon and have a staff. If it's a rake, they can break the end of the rake and just have basically a pointed staff. So there's a lot of staff work. There's actually swords. There's sword play. So actually a pretty diverse, because I think that's part of what makes the style, kind of. I guess the right word is, you can implement it anywhere, because it's totally meant for what do you have. What do you have at your disposal? You can make that a weapon.
All right.
Whether it's a staff or whether it's, something else that you can use, a hoe, a rake. These are all things that you can use if you know how to properly wield them. You can use them to defend yourself. You can use them to ward off attackers. So I find that, need for flexibility, and that ability to turn what you have at your disposal into a weapon, I find that pretty cool.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Eric is asking, do you train in different styles outside of Kung Fu? Like, I don't remember what BJJ is, Muay Thai, boxing?
Man, I haven't engaged in a whole bunch of different styles, so I've engaged in some boxing. So mostly like Kung Fu and boxing, but I have some friends that they are amazing. I mean, because, being able to utilize these different, like Muay Thai, amazing, and being able to use, these different styles. I personally haven't used all these different styles. I've got a friend that also uses capoeira, which is amazing. Yeah, which is amazing. So I mean, there's so many amazing styles out there to potentially, kind of leverage. And in the book, I do have. You'll see in this episode, Black Tiger battles actually a dude in. It's crazy, but like a dude in a Brazilian jungle who's using capoeira.
Yeah, because capoeira was a fight created by the slaves to protect themselves from the masters. You know what I mean? And it's very popular in Brazil too.
Isn't that the style where it's done mostly low to the ground and involves a lot of rolling?
Yeah, and in fact, the capoeira is like a dance. Is this what the word is? This quiz.
Similar to breakdancing.
Yeah, because they need to not bring too much attention for what they were practicing. You know what I mean? So the master could wipe out them. So they try to dance. They was like a dancing, but they was preparing themselves to fight. You know what I mean?
That's how it originated.
And they use a lot of legs and kicks. So they stay dancing with all the music just to don't bring too much attention in the time of slavery. You know what I mean? And it's very popular in Brazil. Very popular.
Yeah,
real nice.
And I think you'll have fun. I mean, in this story, you'll see Black Tiger having real problems with this master of capoeira, just because like his points of attack are so differently. Coming from the ground. She's not ready for that. It's a completely different style of martial arts.
Totally.
Completely different way to attack.
Yeah, that was the trippy part about Bruce Lee and how he developed his style. He grew up learning one thing and teaching one thing, and then first time he comes up across a boxer, it like threw him for a loop.
Yeah.
He was totally unprepared for that, but then he took the time to like study other styles and figure out what worked and what didn't, what the pros and cons were to each, and it made them all the better for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Eric grew up on doing.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
That's man. That man.
A lot of movement. You move to the rhythm of the berimbau.
Berimbau. Berimbau is an instrument of music done with coconut in cutting the half, and then you hit in the side and then make it sound very, very nice.
So,
And
is it basically the coconut shells themselves, or do they add strings?
the string is like a how can I say? It's like a something like that, but bend, and then a string and a coconut down here. So
Oh,
they bang and bang from the side. You have a string like this, but it's curved.
all right.
It's not straight like that. It's curved. If you look on YouTube, you see some capoeira fighters, man. It's crazy, and the kicks are so strong, man. When they turn around the legs and it hits the face of the guy with the back
Oh
of
my.
the dude, the end. The guy's like, oh,
Yeah,
that's it. That's out.
yeah.
It's incredible, man. And the jumps. Sometimes they keep dancing so fast, and then they jump and hit the ground on the face where the attacker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Eric says that he hasn't done it in about 5 years, though. Kind of looks like a fishing rod. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Yes.
Very cool.
I once watched this program on television. It was, I think, on the Learning Channel, and they would do these, or maybe it's Spike TV, but there was this program where it explored different martial arts, and they tried to use technology and numbers and math and determine, pit these two martial arts styles against each other, which would win in the end. And it turned out like they were comparing capoeira with kung fu. Well, actually, I think it was definitely karate and taekwondo.
Yeah.
And I think in the end, they decided ultimately capoeira would deliver the strongest kick.
Yeah.
Because you got so much momentum and your legs generate so much power.
Yeah.
By the time you swing them around like you were describing.
Yeah, if you look on YouTube, man, the guys start to like dancing and say, come on, it's just a dance, man. Look, this guy's fighting, bro. It's 1, 2, 3, bam. 1, 2, 3, bam. It's oh, bro. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful to see. And I think it's more near to Taekwondo than Kung Fu. I think Taekwondo uses a lot of legs too, right?
Yes.
I think it's more near to Taekwondo.
That's what I studied, Taekwondo.
Is that right?
Yeah, I like to study Jeet Kune Do, though. I want to read up on that. And I'd also like to learn Tai Chi. My dad was into Tai Chi, and my stepdad was into Shotokan Karate.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I always see the people in the park doing the Tai Chi, and I'm like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Tai Chi, I think, is more for the mind, right? They serve like a defense fight.
Yeah, it's a very
but I see that the movement is more like a mindset, right?
Yeah, it's the way I see it is it's a way to focus.
Yeah.
Bring peace to your mind.
Yeah.
And
for spirit.
Yeah.
More for
and
spirit.
To ground yourself.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a very, very defensive style.
Yeah.
And it's redirecting the energy from your opponent and turning it against them.
Against them, yeah. That's nice too.
Eric says, I love it. When you're in the with everyone is in tune with the spirit of the music. It is so much. Kind of like being in church. I miss it.
Yeah.
See, that's awesome. I never practiced capoeira, but I had a friend that described it very similarly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, like when you're in church and you're all singing and you can feel the energy for coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of like on the same, you know, you're in that same, like you said, same spirit, same,
Mm-hmm.
you know, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. My mother-in-law once described coming out of church one day when she was young, and she so felt the spirit of God in her that nothing could ruin her day. She is so pumped up.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. For anyone who hasn't yet, be sure and hop on the mailing list for Black Tiger Hidden Dragon
Yes, please.
to check out Tigress's further adventures.
Mhm.
Speaking of the Tigress, excuse me, he has some artwork in the first campaign where she did this amazing high kick.
Yeah.
I need you to fess up, John, and reveal that was modeled after you, right?
Man, maybe a decade ago.
Long time.
Yeah, man. The body doesn't work like it used to. You know, like I told you with the Black Tiger Kung Fu, it's it's very much. I mean that's definitely a theatric, and that's more of like a Hong Kong style theatric, as opposed to something you're, maybe gonna, really do when you're fighting. I'm not saying you wouldn't. I just wouldn't because I'd hurt myself. I'd hurt myself more trying to do that than it just wouldn't make any sense.
Right. Kung Fu hustle.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's funny because you were talking about Tai Chi, and that's one of my favorite things about, I think, like the Hong Kong movies was just the Tai Chi. Like watching like Jet Li do the Tai Chi, and they kind of put the baby powder on them, and they've got the, the moves, and you kind of see the baby powder flying off. Man, I so in love with that. I love that stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh my goodness.
Rod, do you study martial arts?
I did a little bit of karate. Yeah, very young age. The guy said that I had talent to do it because I have a lot. I have a good reflex. But man, when I hurt my right hand, I stopped it. I said, nah, not for me, bro. Not for me. I don't want to draw for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? So.
So you knew from back at that age that you wanted to draw for a career.
Yeah, I started to draw with 11 years old. I knew that I wanted to be artist. You know what I mean? I didn't knew that I would be a comic book penciler or artist, but I knew that I would work with art. So at that time, I had 14 years old, and I practiced a little karate. I like it a lot because I like of kung fu everything. But in my town, we could find good kung fu places to practice. You know what I mean? Masters. But then but the guy said, man, if you practice, you can go to the championship because of my reflex. But I was totally afraid to broke my arm. You know what I mean? I stayed months without drawing. Then I said, man, I won't do that, man, bro, because I was already fall in love by art. You know what I mean? So
right.
Yeah, I had to decide. I said, no.
You're right-handed, it looks like.
Yeah, totally.
And was it your right hand that broke when you were young?
It's not broken, but it hurts a lot.
Oh, okay, all right.
It was in the defense. I hit my bone and I said, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Put it in the ice and stay with the hand.
Yeah. Got a nice bruise.
Yeah.
Really bruise the bone.
That's really nice.
Oh, man.
I said, no, not for me, bro. Years later, I start to play some basketball. So I like a lot of exercise. So I played basketball for my whole life until I broke my left arm.
Oh man.
Yep.
Before, it took me 25 years to broke one bone and was left arm because I jumped to the ball. And when I was falling down, the guy up under me make like a bed, as you said, you know what I mean? So I don't drop in him. I turn my body and stop with the left. Yeah. And the bone, they like bang.
Oh,
The bone like a ball like that.
oh.
When I get up and when I arrive on the hospital, the guys look at the X-ray and said, "Man, what did you do with your left hand, man? It seems like a truck passed through. You know what I mean? All the bones was."
Oh, man.
And I had to put like a plate.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I have a plate here.
Oh.
This side.
Okay.
Then I'm retired for basketball.
Oh, man.
Now, just playing. And man, imagine it if it was like the right hand.
Oh,
man.
my goodness. Yeah.
I stayed 3 months just doing therapy, physiotherapy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's terrible, man. And
They
say
say
that.
they
Today
say-
I just make like a regular gym
Uh-huh.
for my back, for my right arm, and that's it. But I love, man. I had now I live in a place here in São Paulo that I have kung fu gym like in another block.
Really?
Sometimes I pass there and I listen to the guys training and say, man, I wish I could practice, because I really like the kung fu philosophy.
Yeah.
I really like it. But for me now it's Tai Chi, very slow, no contact. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Exactly.
That's it, bro. Too old for full contact.
Yeah. You can. There are places in America, man. You can go to the park and do that in the morning.
Yeah.
You can do that with the old people in the park in the morning.
I will be there with the old
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
Yeah. But that's also where the old people bully you around and beat you up and.
Yeah, that's true. And they took my lunch money.
For sure.
Uh,
Damn, man, this old dude got my lunch.
yeah, you get bullied when you're a kid and you get bullied when you're an adult.
Seriously, it just doesn't get any better.
Eric is asking, when is Black Tiger launching?
May the 18th.
May 18th. Wow.
We're just having a little bit of a runway, trying to get enough kind of a critical mass so that hopefully we can get off to a fast start for the campaign. I know Eric has the first volume, but we are going to do a Catch Me Up. So for those that did not get Legacy of Fury, we're going to offer Legacy of Fury with a different cover, though, because, you know, second printing, want to honor everybody that got the first one. So we'll do a different cover.
Nice.
And then we'll offer up Black Tiger Hidden Dragon Volume 1 as well.
So it's volume one's gonna. Oh yeah, that's right. All right. So the Catch Me Up is going to be perfect bound, right?
Yes, sir.
Everything's going to be perfect bound.
Everything's going to be perfect bound. Yeah.
Nice. And
so there will be. All right, I don't want to give too much of the secret sauce here. So we're going to start off with some sketch tiers, okay? We're also going to do some really cool things with regards to original art. So we are going to have kind of during the campaign, we're going to do an auction.
Exclusive art
and
auction.
We want to give people that, and we're still kind of figuring out some of the logistics of that, but I think we're going to have it so that people who are signed up on the mailing list, we'll let them in that auction early.
Ooh.
And we'll auction off a couple of Rod's hottest pieces.
Oh my gosh, dang.
Yeah. So we're still kind of putting the, kind of the pieces together of how that's going to look, but that's going to be cool. And then we will probably maybe in the second 30 after the auction, if there's some other really hot art, that wasn't taken, we may put that on the campaign as well. But we are going to have sketch tiers.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's gonna be hot. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
It'll be a good ride.
Yeah, jeez.
Oh my goodness.
That's gonna be good.
We are preparing some good stuff.
Wow, it was my favorite kung fu movie, man. This is like asking me to choose between my children. Maybe right now, maybe I would say I really love Jet Li's Once Upon a Time in China. I enjoyed the whole series, and the funny thing is Wong Fei Hong, he was also his style was a form of Black Tiger style. He was known as one of the tigers of I forgot what province he was from. And the stories about him were legendary. And basically Jet Li plays Wong Fei Hong. And even as I spoke with the Sifu had connectivity. His system had direct connectivity with Wong Fei Hong. So I learned those things afterwards. But I love Once Upon a Time in China with Jet Li. Granted, it is a lot more Tai Chi than other forms of Kung Fu, but it's still a beautifully done, kind of series and movie. I really enjoyed Ip Man. I really loved the first Ip Man. I love the whole series, but I really, I really have grown to really love Donnie Yen.
Yeah,
as a martial artist, I just love that dude. So much good martial arts. And I remember growing up as a kid, my favorite Kung Fu movie, they'd show it on either Channel 5 or Channel 9, was Master of the Flying Guillotine. So basically it was about a guy who was a one-arm boxer. Okay, so he was a one-arm martial artist, one-arm boxer. And he kills, it's kind of sounds hokey, but it's fun. He kills like with his chopsticks, he kills like a whole bunch of flies at once. And this story becomes like this great story of, it went from like he killed 7 flies at once to like he killed 7 people at once with like a chopstick. So the story just like expands. And then this awesome blind master who has a flying guillotine goes to find him because he's like, no, I'm the greatest martial artist around. The dude is blind. He's got like the big eyebrows. He can't, but he can hear. His hearing is like Daredevil style. So he throws the guillotine, but lands on your head. He snatches your head off.
Oh.
So he's the master of the flying guillotine. And then but it's a kung fu western though. So I mean, at the end of the movie, just like a Man with No Name kind of a movie, at the end, the master of the flying guillotine basically kind of kicks him into a coffin.
Nice.
So the coffin was made for the master of the flying guillotine, but the man with the one-armed boxer kicks the master of the flying guillotine into the coffin, and the coffin closes on him. I'm telling you, I used to love Master of the Flying Guillotine. That movie, me and my friends, and the thing is, back in the day, when it comes on, it comes on. You don't know.
Yeah.
Like every Saturday and every Sunday, they'd have Kung Fu Theater, and whatever was showing was whatever was showing.
Right.
But yeah, man, I have so many fond memories of Kung Fu Theater or just martial arts movies, man. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. I just love it as a medium.
Absolutely. Will the pieces in the auction be from Black Tiger?
All the pieces.
Dude, it's gonna be a Black Tiger bonanza.
Oh.
And the thing is this.
Exclusive, my friend. Exclusive.
A number of years back, Rod had sent me about 4 issues of Legacy of Fury pages. I just found them. So we got all the artwork that Rod has already done for the new books. We've got the Legacy of Fury art that he has. I have another 4 issues worth of his Legacy of Fury art here. So it is going to be a Black Tiger bonanza. There are literally hundreds of Black Tiger pages.
One day, be there because it'll be one day. That's it.
So we're excited, man. It's going to be fun.
Dang, that's going to be phenomenal.
And we will have prices for everyone.
That's right.
Just come, guys. Just come. It'll be fun.
So we're gonna do that, and we're also going to just continue to just let kind of drip on folks right now, let them know about the campaign, and then we'll let folks know that like there is value to signing up early. Like if you want to get on the auction, there's some other cool things. Let me see what I can show you here, Eric. I don't know if you know our dude Phoenix Animation, but he made these amazing, and Rod hasn't even seen these. He made these amazing metal bookmarks. From some of Rod's. Let me turn it right side up.
With the dragon, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, and like he did this on his own volition, but I'm gonna order these from him because I love these bookmarks. They're metal. Yeah. You know, they're metal bookmarks.
Yeah.
You know, you can use them for whatever, but I haven't traditionally been somebody that has a whole bunch of tchotchkes in the campaign, but I think this one's cool. So we're gonna provide this, and we may provide some other you know, cool metal stuff because I'm just really digging what Phoenix Animation is doing. So
nice.
So we wanna try and step it up. Maybe a Black Tiger T-shirt.
Oh yeah, you know me. I love T-shirts.
Me too.
And I love those metal bookmarks too.
Yeah.
There have been a couple campaigns with metal bookmarks, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I even interviewed the guy who does them. Eric says, "Man with the Iron Fists" is one of my favorites. Kung Fu is so fun. I love Jackie Chan's early movies too.
Jackie Chan is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and when you go back and watch his movies, you're just like, sometimes I would just watch the outtakes, and I'm like, they are insane. They're absolutely insane.
I prefer the outtakes in the end of the movie, bro. They got insane.
You know who else I love? I love Sammo Hung.
Yeah, me too.
That is some awesome fat man kung fu.
Yeah.
Sammo Hung is like one of my favorites. If Sammo Hung's in it, I'm probably gonna watch it.
Yep.
You know?
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking about making use of your surroundings and whatever you have available, Jackie Chan was well renowned for that because, you know, he could use a refrigerator, a shopping cart,
whatever.
A can of food.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, that to me, that's the essence. That's really the essence of Kung Fu, especially like, you know, even if you go back to, you know, folks that were just defending themselves where they were as farmers. I mean, you need to be able to utilize whatever you have at your disposal to defend yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and that is the essence of Jackie Chan. He will use anything.
Yeah.
You know, and it's pretty cool.
I found it interesting in one of his. Oh, go ahead.
No, awesome. I love this too.
I found it interesting in one of his interviews how he said, you know, he would study Bruce Lee style, and then he'd go, you know, how can I be good in my own way and unique? And he would like, if Bruce Lee kicked this way, then I'll work harder on my lower kicks or something like that.
Yeah.
If he punched this way, then I'll do like slightly different and get really good at this other kind of kick. So it was kind of in some ways like opposite of Bruce Lee style, but you know.
But still, I mean, he made his own. You know, I mean, he made his own style and very, you know, very unique. You know what's funny? I was watching Enter the Dragon last month, and the first person that Bruce Lee fights is Sammo Hung.
Yeah, I think that's the same movie also that has Jackie Chan when he was a stunt double. He was one of the many endless mobs of fighters.
Yeah.
And the big fight scene.
Yeah.
And, you know, I often stop and watch whenever I catch some of Jackie Chan's interviews. How he was filming with Bruce, and they were doing that scene. And, of course, Bruce Lee has the nunchucks, right?
Yeah.
And then he got bopped, Jackie Chan, and his fellow fighters, stun doubles, stun people, if you will, stun fighters. They more or less get recycled over and over and over.
Yeah.
It's like a huge number of people.
Yeah.
So during the fight, he gets bopped and, he gets a little hurt, but he's not seriously hurt. But then he sees Bruce Lee come up to him and go, "Oh, are you okay?" And then, at that very moment, he just says, "Oh, I'm going to play it up and go, oh, I'm hurting so much." And he really, lays it on thick. And it's like they sort of formed like a connection where whenever, he would, Jackie Chan would be off to the side kind of recovering.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee would resume his fighting scenes. And then every now and then Bruce Lee would catch a glance over at Jackie Chan and, check up on him. So it was pretty sweet. It's hilarious.
That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Eric suggests you hold the auction on a weekend. He doesn't want to miss it.
Oh,
I
could be.
I would
a good idea.
definitely try and catch it as well. I mean, I know there's a high probability that Eric will outbid me, but I think that's the more likely time I would have the time to catch the auction.
Yeah.
Welcome, Greg.
That reminds me of my kids had this shredder toy.
Oh,
And
yeah?
like you move the arm and he would like say something.
All right.
And I remember one time, I don't know, this toy was possessed. Sometimes he'd just start talking in the middle of the night. And one of the things he would say is enough.
All right.
And then one time he just goes, "Ee," and it's seriously for like a minute. I'm just like, the shredder is gonna get shredded. But I said, but what if he really is possessed?
My God, I would throw that thing in the wall, man. That's
Enough.
it. Bang. Enough. That's it. Imagine we were sleeping and what the fuck?
Oh man.
Man, that's it.
Well, you hear that, and you're just like, is somebody in my, what the heck is happening? Is somebody in my house? What is going on? Then when I finally kind of put two and two together, I'm like, damn, shredder.
Awesome. It's awesome, bro. I'm crying here. Imagine you getting scared.
It's like 2 a.m. and the shredder starts talking.
Oh my
I
God.
don't need that in my life.
My kid had some similar toy also in his bedroom, and sometimes this happened to me too.
Yeah.
When you are sleeping so well, so good after a long hour of work, and then you listen there. Yeah, I said, what the fuck? It's just a toy, man. Oh man, I want to kill him.
That sounds like an ominous, creepy voice.
Yeah.
My friend reminded me that, like, because he was like the first of us to get married and have like a kid, and she's grown now. I mean, dang, she's in college now. She's 20. But the first gift I gave her was a talking Pikachu, and I didn't realize what a terrible gift that is to give a newborn child. He said like the baby, as a baby, she grew attached to the toy, but they ended up having to take the batteries out because it said like, the baby would be sleeping, and then all of a sudden they hear Pika, 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 and then the baby would start crying. Pika. It was like, I was like, dude, I thought it would be a cool toy. He's like, you're an idiot. I'm like, yes, I know.
That's a terrible gift.
Oh, man. Eric says, those are cool. Matanui talking to Greg says, starts throwing chunks of ice. I'm not sure where that comes from.
I think we missed the context of that one.
Greg asks, how much is the shipping on this metal merch, like the covers and bookmarks?
Well, and that's what we got to figure out. I mean, the bookmarks are not heavy at all. So, I mean, if somebody's buying a book and they're getting a bookmark, I just want to put it in there. I mean, this, you know, I'm already paying for the, you know, for the book. I'll probably have to be a little bit more strategic with the larger, you know, with the larger pieces. But, you know, I'm really looking, especially for those that are bundling things, to really take advantage of the bundling. You know, if you're already getting a book and you're getting, you know, a bookmark, I mean, what is it to me to charge you shipping at that point? You know, you know, because it's one of those things. So just definitely, I'll have the pricing. It'll be different a la carte than if you're doing it. And that's one thing that Indiegogo is good about. Like I can set it up so that if you're doing certain things, the shipping can be one thing. If you're getting it another way, like if you're getting it as an add-on to a book, there's really no reason for me to add shipping. You know, and on top of that, I don't even really know what we're gonna do yet. Maybe this will just be a perk that people get. Right. You know, this just may be something really cool that people end up getting. So I don't have a strategy yet. All I know is that these are awesome. So I want I was just like, man, we're gonna give these to folks. And just like what Phoenix made, I love these.
Yeah.
I love these.
Yeah, it is Phoenix Animation, isn't it?
Yep, it's Phoenix.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like the master of metalwork. You know, he's like the Magneto of CG.
There you go.
Magneto CG.
Yeah.
Welcome, Lorenzo Sleeve Slap. Hail, chat.
Lorenzo.
Yo. Greg says, Wise is the only person who reads my hail properly. All else are betas. Pokemon are great toys for children if you want
What?
If you want them to be gay as fuck.
Does that mean for my goddaughter? It just wasn't.
Oh man. Oh, okay. All right. Hail is chunks of ice. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Throwing chunks of ice around. Metal covers are much heavier. I don't remember. All right. Did I miss something? Did you say that you were thinking about doing metal covers?
So maybe not metal covers. Maybe just like a metal insert, you know, kind of image. We haven't fully figured it out yet.
Or
I mean, metal. I think a metal cover. That is a completely. I have not taken that into consideration logistically. You know, from a printing perspective, I would have to think that would really increase the cost. Now I'm speaking out. I'm speaking off the side of my neck. I don't know because I haven't done the homework yet.
Is that the same? Is a metal cover the same as? You're not talking about foil covers,
like foil. No, I mean,
because I thought foil cover is still flexible and almost.
No, I think I know what Greg is talking about, and I think there actually are people that are actually doing not so much foil, but
metal covers on the books.
I think so. I think he's right. I think so. I need to pay closer attention, but I think there are some books that have that option.
Wow.
Yeah, but I think you increase the cost, man. I mean, I think you should have a lot of backers to offer something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And not lose money, right?
And some of the books, like there's a whole bunch of really cool cyberpunk books, so that probably fits that genre a lot more.
Right.
You know, to kind of have an awesome kind of metal cover.
Yeah. Man. Oh wow! I'm trying to imagine what it would be like to open it up and, you know, hold it open to read it. Excuse me.
Maybe just for a collection, you know, just a collector.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a nice collector.
Not for reading, you know, because.
Yeah, I think Greg is right.
I would say something that special and fancy till later on, after you got a few more projects under your belt, and you build the follower base even.
Yeah,
covers are much heavier. I'm worried about creators losing a lot of money on those covers and shipping.
I agree.
Nobody I've spoken to knows how much they'll be to ship.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think, the potential challenge is like Greg says, either people end up losing money and, we like we did with our hardcovers, or they price it to a place where it's just really prohibitive.
Yeah.
For people to want to get it. And then it kind of spirals because you got to print in volume to get your pricing down to probably something that's reasonable. But can you get enough people to purchase, metal cover? Because that was one of the things we did a guesstimate for the shipping, and that was just hard. That was just hard case, hard cover, and we didn't guesstimate quite right. I was like, oh, this is more expensive than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Lorenzo says, "Hey, WyzGyz and the rest of the panel."
Hey, Lorenzo.
Those metal covers are literally made of metal. Wow.
Yeah, this isn't foil stuff we're talking about. We're talking about
this. This is something I missed when I was kind of out of it for just over a month. I had not heard about people going to metal covers.
And people are making the move to metal.
Does that also mean that the spines are also metal?
All good questions. I've got no answers for. It's hard for me to. I just don't know how that works. Yes, you really could beat the slop out of somebody.
So this helps shed some light.
The good thing is you can just wipe blood right off of it.
You getting beat? Oh yeah, easy to clean.
Yeah, it is easy to clean. Just wipe the evidence off.
Well, there you go. All right. All right. You can beat someone's face in with one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Eric says, "I'm not sure if I'd like a metal cover for a book. Will it rust and oxidize over time?"
So that's
a really good question.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be crazy to have a book that's in your collection rusting?
It would be. You know where it might actually be a good thing, like if your story had to do something with sunken treasure, or pirates, or like a book about the Titanic or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So it would be like suiting. It kind of follows the theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rust is just an added benefit that you get over time.
Eric's curious about how much leather binding costs. Kill Journal did a leather bound cover, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out.
I'm actually very curious too, and I want to talk to Adam about that. I mean, I know kind of where Adam's heart is, and Adam really wants to get the book out to folks. And he's also, I know he's willing to eat that, to get people. But I'm very curious because, when I thought about the pricing of it, I said, man, this leather is amazing. This looks like amazing. And I really thought it would be more expensive. I can't remember what his pricing was, but I remember, going to get the book, and I was just like, is this right? This seems like this should be more expensive. Because you got the leather, but it's also going to be heavy. It's also going to be heavy to ship.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm totally curious about that as well. And I know that I just saw a tweet today. So I know that he's well along the process now. So I'm kind of curious what that looks like. He's moved a good amount of units. So hopefully the number of units that he moves, that it works to his benefit, that he's got enough critical mass to bring down his production costs.
Right. That reminds me, I can't remember if I was able to back Kill Journal. I'll have to look at that later. Man, it's still in demand though, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Let's see here. There's so many cool projects out there.
It's ridiculous.
I think someone said that there have already been about 53 Comicscape books released in 2021.
It's insane, man.
All right, that sounds about right.
Yeah, this is only the fourth. We're nearing only the fourth month of 2021, and we've got like 53 books out.
Yeah.
That's insane. It's real exciting though, but that's a lot of competition.
No, it is. I mean, even from, I feel like there's even books that I just didn't even know about.
Mhm.
You know, like I'll just be in the chat of a show, or I'll be on a show, and I'm just like, how did I not know about this book? You know?
Yeah. I try and spend all my time promoting CG books, and I'm still amazed at how much I miss.
Yeah.
And that's why I literally have to rely on other promotional shows to hear about all the other ones out there.
Yeah.
So many, man.
I'm just curious to see. I mean, we see this whole industry and this whole renaissance kind of growing right in front of our faces. You know, I mean, what does this look like in 6 months? What does it look like by the end of the year? You know, I mean, everything is so fluid. You know, there's so much good stuff out there.
Think about in 5 years, man.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of production, man. A lot of production.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good for comics.
It is. I think a big chunk of the comics industry is ultimately, relying on the success of Comicsgate to keep it going. I mean, manga for sure is a huge success story on its own. But, I mean, Comicsgate is filling in where the big two are failing because they care so much about identity politics and stuff, and not making as much money as they should be. Let's see here. Welcome, Fiction Ben.
Hey, what's going on, Ben?
What's up, bro?
He's got a great project too.
Indeed. I'm going to have him on later this week.
Okay, cool. I found out about that, and back then when I found out about it, I was just like, how do I not know about this project?
Oh, yeah.
So many projects.
It definitely looks good.
Yeah.
Lorenzo says, metal artwork is cool, but I'm not sure for a cover.
And I think like certain projects will really lend well. I don't think Black Tiger is one of them, but there are some really cool, more sci-fi-ish, like Ben's. Ben's got that Simon Beasley, kind of heavy metal feel to that story. I could definitely see why you'd want to do something with that, or like some of the sci-fi books that are coming out now. I could see definitely some properties that it would be cool. But I'm kind of like with Greg and Eric. I'm like, I haven't fully conceptualized what that looks like or how that, you know what I mean? It's like I get the cover, but it's like, you got metal all the way around. How does that work? The opening.
I think they could make use of something like that for, like, if they compiled a collection of the Transformers comics in bigger volume, like kind of like a treasury, but or an annual, and made it literally real thick, like your Black Tiger book, and done metal, because metal would go really well with the Transformers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see here.
Or Bionic Bro. He's got.
Yeah.
That'll go.
For sure. Eric says Rust and Tetanus as a stretch goal.
You know what? Exactly.
True.
All right, we can't give you the Rona, but we can give you tetanus.
There you go. Hey, we're shooting for the stars.
Reaching for the stars.
Yeah, absolutely. Hale. Hey, Hexella.
Hey, Mel. Come on, man.
What's up, guys?
Here.
Hello, folks.
Good to have you, man. Eric says, I said the same exact thing, John. I hope Adam isn't losing money on it. Yeah, that was the Kill Journal, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's quite a venture going leatherbound on the book.
Yeah.
It's looking good, though.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I mean, everybody's learning,
It's a process.
Yeah, it's all a process, you know. And my hope for every creator, I mean, you know, we've definitely made our share of mistakes. I hope nobody's making any fatal mistakes
Yeah.
that they can't recover from.
Mhm.
You know,
Die.
because at the end of the day, you still need to fulfill, and then hopefully you don't put yourself out of house and home doing it.
Mhm. Yeah. Eric says CG is growing and I love it. The variety is great.
That's amazing. I mean, there's literally every genre, you know, of book, and these were genres that I really wasn't even reading before.
Same.
You know, so like I've picked up books and genres that I haven't read in decades in terms of comics.
Yeah.
You know, because back in the day, you know, I think you know, the DC and Marvel did a good job with different types of books as well, but they long stopped doing that. So it's like I really hadn't read any horror comics. I really hadn't read much sci-fi, you know, other than maybe a little bit of manga. So this is kind of nice, you know, to get this variety and some really awesome, you know, books, you know, heavy metal quality, like bins. It's good stuff.
Oh yeah. When I first started, when I first learned about Comicsgate, September, October of 2019, I pictured everyone, you know, like flooding the place with superhero books. And then I come to find out there's werewolves, there's zombies, there's most everything but superheroes. And there's a couple of superhero books here and there, but the variety is pretty wild. And I'm not traditionally the type who is much into horror or zombies, but I found myself backing so many of the books.
Yeah, you know, people are putting together fun conceits for their story. You know, fresh takes, even if it's on, you know, kind of, and you know, everything at the end of the day kind of has a tropish element to it. But it's like if you put your own fresh, you know, kind of take, and you know, you're willing to be original, and you're willing, you know, just to make your books for the right reason, you know, for the sake of making books.
Yeah.
You know, I think you'll find an audience.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Good stories. You need, in the end of the day, it's about good story, good art. Doesn't matter the genre, I think.
Yes.
It's good story, good entertainment.
Yeah.
For a good price. For a good price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
keep simple. Keep simple.
Yeah, true. Yeah. What is the acronym? KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah, storytelling is key, and the thing I want most out of CG is for us to keep pushing the boundaries and, you know, return to escapism.
There you go.
Yeah,
we've got so much drama and stress in our lives, and you know, you hear about our kids these days. They're in school and they're encountering stress and anxiety like never before, and it's like I don't remember it being that bad in junior high and high school for me.
Me too, man.
Yeah,
sure,
I agree.
Got bullied and stuff here and there, but
yeah,
I don't remember getting so bad stress and anxiety that I had to go to medications for it.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, it's kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, me and my buddy and I, we laugh because it's like, you know, if we were kids today, they would have put us on medication.
Oh my gosh.
They would have put us on medication, man.
I will be in jail, man.
Yeah, like my family and relatives, you know, when they were younger, they, you know, teachers would get pissed at them because, you know, they look like they'd be goofing off in school, yet, you know, they go to take the tests and they're literally understanding what's being taught, so they ace all the tests.
There you go.
And, you know, they think some people misinterpreted it, thinking it's like ADHD, but it was a matter of the kids not being challenged. They were bored to death. So they were like dueling, they were goofing off. But in the in doing those other activities that didn't seem to be pertinent to the what was being taught, they were still absorbing the knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And given the chance, some instructors might suggest medication when not anything to do with it.
Come on.
Exactly. Just being boys.
Yeah. Ben says no gatekeepers means quality and reliability maintain success.
For sure.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Lorenzo says, I sometimes get frustrated with the channels that only complain about the woke garbage. BitChute and Hollywood put out.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it.
Indie creators.
I feel it. I always think positivity, man. I don't have time to be critiquing someone else's life. You know what I mean? I'm a guy that prefer to draw, but if I'm talking about my project, the art, the community. That's it. I don't want to be complaining. You know what I mean? About other guys. I don't care. I want to. Let's talk how to make good comics. That's it. How to make good comics. How to make the business work.
Yeah. That's the good thing about the community. You know, there's a lot of people that are engaged and everybody's willing to share.
Yeah.
You know, people that have projects that they want to make, you know, there's no need to to jump in and make every mistake in the book. You know, we've all made enough mistakes and we're more than willing to talk about them.
Yeah.
So, everyone, the beautiful thing is people want projects to succeed.
Yes.
So you can leverage the community in a good way.
Yes.
And folks are doing that, and I think they should.
Yeah.
Well put. That's what blows me away. Our community is so supportive of each other. We want to see people succeed. The more they succeed, the more they fulfill their dreams to put out this idea maybe they've been sitting on for 10 or 20 years.
Yeah.
And this is something that may be totally different from anything we've seen from Hollywood. And, it's just amazing stuff. It's really promising and very inspiring.
I agree. Everybody's got a story to tell.
Yeah. I mean, there's a part of me that tries to criticize the woke garbage, but there comes a point at which it's like, all right, the Hollywood, the big two, they're not going to listen. They're just going to going down this spiral. So what's the point in my?
What's the point? For me, if you keep just
how is that productive? Life is short. Life is short. You gotta make your impact while you can.
Exactly. Life is short, man.
Just vote with your dollars. It's easy.
Yeah.
Just buy the stuff you like. The rest of it takes care of itself.
Exactly.
I'm a big proponent in that. And for that very reason, I had to get a second job. Because I have to feed my addiction to Comicscape projects.
There you go.
There you go.
So with the help of a second job, I'll be able to afford more of the higher tiered projects.
Yeah.
Eric says, before I found Comicscape, my taste in comics was limited. All I read was Spawn, Superman, and Green Lantern. Not much else, but now CG has expanded my taste. That's really cool.
That is very cool.
Nice, Eric. Nice to hear that.
Greg says, Comicscape growing like it is now is great for backers. Bad news for creators. I'm glad I'm promoting outside of Comicscape. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to afford to make Gun Demon.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That is smart.
You got to build an audience and find the venues that will get you more backers that will be interested in your work. Eric says, I never thought I would like horror comics, and then Graham Nolan releases The Chenoo, and it was awesome. Then I found out about Alterna and the Blood Realm and the Chair. Awesome books. I would also suggest things like White Cat Comics' Grim Reaper 2. Well, that's already fulfilled. They're on Witch Hunter now.
Witch Hunter, yeah.
And William Hazel, Wooly, and Elsa Dark.
Elsa Dark, yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. All right. Let me see. Let me go through these here. And then horror, oddly enough, led me to find books like Conan and Slain. Books I would never have known existed in a genre I did not think I would like.
Oh, man.
The Bentley Mills Slain run is one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah.
Quote unquote, no gatekeepers. And then today I found out that The Mask was a comic. I'm buying the omnibus later this week. CG really expanded my taste in comics.
That's pretty cool.
Nice. Ben says, just mean that you don't need any publisher's permission to make and promote your book. Yep.
Straight up.
Yeah, for the longest time, I thought the only way to get into comics was to go through the big two, to build a portfolio, to work your ass off, keep submitting to them, and then hope one day that you'll be noticed and show your stuff. But CG flipped that idea on his head.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome, Sugar Chris. Hail, everyone.
Sugar Chris.
What's up, bro?
Greg says, within the next few years, the Brain Cage cinematic universe will be launching. Prepare for action-packed escapism.
That's what we want. That's what we want. That's what we're in it for.
Let's watch the video for Black Tiger Hidden Dragon. If you haven't already, be sure and get in on the sign-up list so you get all the updates. And remember, whenever you input your email address, you have to do part 2, which is actually go into your mailbox and confirm it. So,
that's right.
Because there have been a couple times at least, well, more than a couple times, where I've done part 1 but failed to do part 2, so I don't get the notification.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's watch the video. Damn, that's cool.
Nice.
That's pretty funny, that one lady attacking her, grabbing her by the head.
It's an action-packed book. You know, I mean, the groundwork has been set in Legacy of Fury, so it just really enabled us to take off running.
Yep.
You know, in this volume.
Yeah, so this is the sequel to Beyond Time's first graphic novel.
That's right.
And the adventure continues. That looks pretty damn exciting.
Yeah, so you'll get to see we're talking about capoeira, so you'll get to see her fight a Brazilian master of capoeira in the jungle.
Oh man, very cool. And I love the addition.
Inventory.
Yes, and you got to have a giant dragon in a mall.
Oh yeah, of course, absolutely.
Why not?
That's just a given.
Why not?
There's so many things about that picture I love. I just like looking at that picture. You'll you'll just notice different things, like see that little guy hanging off the dragon or guy at the table.
Yeah.
Look for Wally in this picture. You need to find the things It's so funny. I had so much fun with this page.
Nice. I mean, that's part of it. You know, it's one thing to be passionate about your work, but to also be able to have fun with it. Yeah.
For me, essential, man. It's essential. If I'm not happy, I prefer not to draw. You know what I mean? I prefer. I could be making much more money working with the storyboard for advertising. You know what I mean? Like much more. But comics for me allow me to work with my imagination in so artistically freedom that I don't have in other kind of works.
Yeah.
Even illustration, comics.
Oh yeah.
Like say, where could I draw a dragon in a mall?
True.
Comics.
Right here.
Just comics.
Yes, indeed.
So I will never drop this media, man. I love this media.
Oh yeah. Eric loves the music to the video.
Yeah, my buddy Scott Thrill. He just does an amazing job with the beats.
So cool.
Yeah, I love the track. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, Greg says I don't even like hip hop, but that track's cool as fuck.
Yeah, it's kind of hypnotic.
Yeah. Greg only.
All right, well we got to remember
it's on Wednesdays.
It's Giant Dragon Wednesday.
Oh yeah, there you go. Eric says I think Rod sold that dragon piece in the auction, if I remember right.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that together with the cover, the rap, 4-page rap cover. Was that dragon, the cover, and a page from the next book.
Oh wow, that's got a
sold it already.
Scored a piece from the next book. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So be ready for the next exclusive Black Tiger art auction because fire up.
Greg's got to go. Catch you guys later. This was the best stream of the day. Oh, thanks, man.
Sure, bro.
Appreciate that, bud.
Here, man.
Appreciate that.
Greg is cool with smaller dragons on the other days of the week.
Rod is big dragons or go home.
There you go.
Go big.
Yeah, bro.
And on that note, we should probably bring this to a close. So, John, I'm giving you the floor. Would you share with the world how you can be found on social media?
So I can be found at Beyond Time Inc. You can find me there on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. If you're interested, Magna, we are now delivering. So if you didn't get one of these gems, you get to choose from one of these 3 covers. Or if you're feeling inspired, you can get all 3. Got Magna beanies. Rod has a commission a spot available if you still want a commission from my man. Otherwise, we are focused on Black Tiger. So sign up for the mailing list. You'll also have the ability for a catch me up, so you'll be able to get a copy of the book that started it all, Black Tiger: Legacy of Fury, as well as the first volume of Hidden Dragon.
Nice. Fantastic. Rod, you get the floor. Please share how you can be found on social media.
Everywhere, man. YouTube, Rod Looper. Twitter, Rod_Looper. Instagram, Rod.Looper. Just look my name and I'll be there. Awesome. Thanks for inviting. Another page finish.
Woo! Oh. Look at that bad boy. What?
Done.
Oh, man.
Just fighting. Demos.
Jeez, look at that.
Little mysticism, some ninjas.
Crazy.
That is gorgeous.
That knocked it out of the park, man. Eric says, grab a commission from Rod. You won't regret it.
Facts.
My man.
That is true.
Thanks, Eric.
Facts.
This is cool stuff. And as usual, you can find me on MeWe, Facebook, YouTube under WyzGyz Entertainment. You can catch me on Parler under WyzGyzParlers, Twitch under WyzGyz Twitches, Twitter and WyzGyz Tweets. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Mark the bell for notifications. Drop some comments down below the video. Let us know what you're most excited about, what you're most looking forward to on Black Tiger Hidden Dragon.
Yes, sir.
Where the tigress is back following her sole lead into her father's murder as a hidden evil rises.
Yes.
So check out that book. Get in on the sign-up list so you don't miss out on any updates.
There'll be some other good reasons to do it too, especially if you like art auctions.
Oh yeah. That. Oh man, art auctions are becoming more popular with CG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many great artists, and they're making the art available. And the great thing is there's, the middleman is not there, so it's a win-win. The audience gets the artwork, and the artist gets the benefit of selling the artwork.
Yeah, direct to market.
Direct to market.
There you go. I'd like to thank everyone in the chat. You guys are freaking awesome. And thanks for joining us. Thanks to everyone who watches this on replay. And thanks to our very special guests, John Hervey and Rod Looper.
Thank you, man. We really appreciate it. Thanks for having us on.
Always. You're always welcome for return visits. Anytime.
Take you up on that.
All right. Take it easy, y'all. Thanks for joining us tonight.
See ya.
Guest is the only person below White Holiday in the Comicsgate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sammetti. The YouTube WyzGyz. How you doing, Conrad? Welcome to the show.